this is Mrs. Carell. We're back for another episode of Maniac Math. Make sure you have a pencil and your video notes page and we'll get started. Okay, at the top of your page where it says title of video, on the line next to that you need to write multiplication number 1E. Remember, you can abbreviate multiplication to MULT period. Number 1, letter E. Below that, where it says important term or definition, on that line you need to write multiplication is repeated addition. Once you get that done, come on back. We'll get started. Okay, for problem number 1, we're going to do 38 times 5. We're going to do this 2 different ways, so I want you to, that's a pretty line right there. Let's just undo that, and I'll actually use my line tool to make a straighter line. And we're going to do this 2 different ways. You need to, whatever I write in the green box, you need to write it too. Okay, so 38 times 5. If we break the number 38 into its place parts, we're going to have 38 like this. 30 plus 8 makes 38. And we're going to multiply both of those by 5, and we will add the answer together. So just bring that plus sign down, and we'll be adding this and this together to get the same answer as we're getting over here. So let's set up our problem like we have been. Line there, line there. This is our notes space. Remember, that's our notes space. All right, 8 times 5. 8 times 5 is 40. Remember how we write it? We write a little plus 4 in here in our note space and a big 0. So we can still see the number 40. Okay, we've used our 8. Now we need to multiply 3 times 5. 3 times 5 is 15, but remember we have this plus 4. So 15 plus 4 is 19. All right, over to this way. 8 times 5, we just did that over there. It is 40. Now right here we have a cross it off, drop it off. If you have a 0 at the end of a number in a multiplication problem, you can simply cross it off and drop it off into the answer area. Now all we have is 3 times 5, which is 15. Remember, I said we needed to add these 2 answers together. Well, when we do that, we have 150 plus 40, which ends up being 190. Okay, for problem number 2, we're going to do 46 times 4. 46 times 4. Can you think of how we might set that up over here? We would say 46 and then multiply both of the parts by 4. So we are multiplying here, but whatever answers we get, we are going to add those 2 answers together. All right, so let's give this a shot. And we'll set it up the way we usually do so that we have a note space right there and right there. Okay, 6 times 4. 6 times 4 is 24. This area up here is our note space. Those are not our answers. Those are just things that we need so that we can get the answer. All right, we've used the 6. Now we need to multiply the 4 times 4. 4 times 4 is 16 plus this 2 right here. 16 plus 2 is 18. Over here, we already know 6 times 4 is 24 because we did it over here. And we have a cross it off, drop it off. A 0 at the end of a number in a multiplication problem, you can simply cross it off and drop it off. All right, now we have 4 times 4. We know that's 16 from doing it over here. Now I need to bring this 24 underneath so I can add those 2 things together. 160 plus 24. 6 plus 2 is 8. And 1. Same answer. All right, for problem number 3, let's start on this side this time. How about we figure out what is 9 times 3? 9 times 3 is 27. All right, we have a cross it off, drop it off. Cross off that 0, drop it off right down here. 5 times 3. 5 times 3 is 15. Now we need to add these 2 numbers together. So I'm just going to drop that 27 right over here, line it up nice and neat, and this part is where we add. 0 plus 7 is 7, 5 and 2 is 7, 1 and nothing is 1. All right, let's try it over here this way. 9 times 3 we already know is 27, so we're going to write a little 2 in our notes section and a big 7 down here. We've used the 9. Now we need to do the 5 times 3. 5 times 3 is 15 plus 2. 15 plus 2 is 17. Same answer, just 2 different ways of getting it. All right, so over on this side we have 91 times 8, and over here we have 90 plus 1, or 91, and we're multiplying both of those parts by 8. So 1 times 8, this should be easy breezy. 1 times 8 is 8. We have a cross it off, drop it off, so we can cross off the 0 because it is at the end of a number in a multiplication problem. Cross it off, drop it off down here. 9 times 8. 9 times 8 is 72. Now we just need to add these two things together, and you could probably just do that in your head. 720 plus 8 is 728. Over here, we have 1 times 8. That's 8. We didn't even have to put anything in our notes area. 9 times 8, 72. Same answer. All right, so for problem number 5, which you are going to do on your own, I have it set up. You need to do both ways. Your problem is 65 times 7. Okay, and for your last problem, do it both ways. Our problem is 34 times 5. Make sure you do both ways. Draw any lines you might need for notes or anything. And you have 4 examples on your paper. Good luck, you got this.